Hello Gemini, this is your astrology forecast for May of 2014. This also applies if you're Gemini rising or Gemini moon. And the first thing I need to say to you is happy birthday, my dear Geminis, at least the early Geminis. I wish you a really happy, great time and a really good year ahead. So let's break the month down into smaller pieces, because as always there is quite a lot happening. First thing to say is that Venus, planet that rules your love and your money, on the 3rd of the month moves into your 11th house, joining Uranus here. So Venus here moving into Aries, this is a really good time for new friendships, or maybe a friend from the past coming back into your life, or just a sudden infatuation with somebody. You may meet somebody and just feel such an instant connection. It's that kind of love at first sight feeling. It's also when you may get an inspiration as to what you want to do in the wider world with your life. It's like an inspiration. Uranus triggers that Venus with, some kind of a magical idea. So it could be a magical idea as to the kind of organisation you want to get involved with, that you want to join, that you want to just try out. You might want to try a new seminar, a new talk, or even give a talk. But it's new people coming into your life this month, Gemini. And Geminis, you love that. You love something new. You have really no boredom threshold. So I think that this Venus going into Aries and joining the Uranus is going to bring some excitement, possibly into your love life and also into your finances, and certainly into your friendships and the people around you. Now on May the 8th, we have got Mercury, hooray, coming into Gemini, into your sign in the first house here. This is going to be your breathe a sigh of relief, quite honestly, Geminis. Having your ruling planet Mercury, which is the planet of communications, going into your sign should make all your communications that much smoother, easier, quicker. People picking up things more quickly. You haven't got to repeat them so often. It's a great time for any kind of communication, any kind of self-promotion here, with it being in the first house. Anything that you need to say to somebody, they're more likely to listen to it. Your mind is going to be whizzing as usual. You may find yourself wanting to study and learn something new. Of course, that's not new in itself, but you may have found something new that's piqued your interest, and you may decide, hey, you know, I want to learn a little more about it. But this Mercury in your sign, you really should feel good about talking, speaking, writing, publishing. Anything in the communications field should be absolutely excellent for you from then until pretty much the end of the month. Between the 10th and the 11th, we do have an exact opposition of this Venus to Mars from your 5th to your 11th house. Venus and Mars in opposite, the feminine and the masculine principle. Well, this could stimulate a strong attraction, something that you are strongly drawn to. With it being the 5th house, it could be a romance, could be somebody that you really suddenly feel strong emotions for. It could be a friendship that leads to a romance, could be a new business that really just whoosh, you get a real idea as to how to push it forward. And this month as well, on the 20th of the month, finally, planet Mars. This is what rules energy, passion, forward action, movement, finally comes out of its retrograde on the 20th and moves forward. And Geminis, for you, that should really be a boost in your energy forward. You may feel as though many of you have had like plans, they've kind of like been on hold, or just nothing's been moving, or you've been trying to move things along and it's been like sort of like just wading through glue. when that Mars goes direct, that should really help you. You should really feel as though many projects that have been stuck, people, you've been waiting for responses from people, things should start to really flow in. And this should also be very good for those of you in business for yourself or thinking about going into business for yourself. Great time to become more independent financially by coming up with your own ideas, your own creative ideas. This should be excellent once that Mars goes direct after the 20th. Now before that, the week before that, on the 14th of the month, we have a full moon in sexy Scorpio. It's a very powerful full moon. Scorpio is the most powerful sign of the zodiac, and this full moon here for you is in your 6th house. It's joining Saturn in your 6th house of work and health. So anything that has been hidden, anything that you've been suppressing or keeping down or not wanting to notice, it's going to come out during this full moon in Scorpio. It's when the moon is full, it's shining a strong light on something. And with you in this particular house area, this is your work. So maybe there's something that needs to be said at work. Maybe you want to quit your work. Maybe you're looking for a new job. Maybe you're looking for a new direction. There's a chance for it to come out now. Maybe that there's something you need to look at in your health. Maybe you've not wanted to look at something. And this full moon will really push you to look at things that maybe you haven't wanted to face. But remember, better to face them, because only just quashing your fear makes it bigger on the inside. So releasing it, you can heal it and you can move on better, stronger than ever. So don't be afraid of that moon. As well, it can bring an intense relationship. There can be intense emotions and intense sharing. There will be a certain intensity of emotions around the middle of the month. And on the 22nd, at long last, we have the Sun coming into Gemini. Happy birthday. And it comes into your 1st house, which is time to do things nice for you. This is when you're centre stage, when you decide what it is you want for this year. What are the new things you want? How do you want to present yourself? Would you like to present yourself differently? If so, how? All these things with this Sun and Mercury in your 1st house. And then on the 28th of the month, in sharp contrast, you'll be delighted to hear, to this rather serious, important, intense full moon in Scorpio, we have got a lovely, light-hearted Gemini new moon. New moon in your sign, Geminis, so new beginnings, new ideas. You might go on a new course, you might learn something new, you might teach something new, you might decide you're going to write that book or publish that book. It's new beginnings for you. How do you want to invent yourself now? What do you want to do differently with how you present yourself, how you're seen, how you want to be seen? But it's light-hearted. It's got the Geminian streak to it. It's time to be fun, to see your life from a light-hearted, humorous viewpoint, to see the funny things, the funny side of things. I know at the time things are not funny, but afterwards, often we can have a funny perspective. Try to bring that joy, which I think you'll be able to do with that new moon in Gemini. There you have it, dear Geminis. I wish you a great month. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, sharing. I do appreciate it. Bye for now.